Do you know USC's man with two first names? Or is it two last names?
You are Locked On Trojans, your daily podcast on the USC Trojans. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Fight on, everyone. I'm your host, Mark Holkin, and thank you for making Locked On USC part of the Locked On Network, your first listen every day, whether you're watching the show on YouTube, wherever you want to download your podcast. This show is always free, and this show will always appreciate your support. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. As the playoffs wind down, the sports stop sporting like we want them to. But you know what? This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all of their customers with a boost or a bonus, and they're doing that daily. Right now, there's something for everyone. Every day, all summer long, visit FanDuel.com to get started. All right. These guys literally do not get enough attention, and you probably wouldn't even recognize them if you're walking around campus and you bumped into him wearing his jersey. However, Gage Roy is a quarterback at USC. That's big man on campus territory. Scholarship, preferred walk-on, it doesn't matter in my book. The Locked On USC family got to meet Killian O'Connor not too long ago, backup center. Let's talk to his roommate, backup quarterback Gage Roy. He's a junior from Dallas, Texas. Gage, again, I think this is the first time we've spoken to each other. Maybe a hello on your way to practice one time, but welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Quick question: is this your first formal interview since you've been at USC?
I've done a couple other just small things, but first official one, I'd say.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Put a little notch on there for the Locked On USC family. Awesome. All right, so in case people don't know this about Gage, as a senior in high school, he made the 2021 All-District 7 6A team. He was playing for the Jesuit Dallas Prep. This is how good he was his senior year. He completed 202 of 286 passes. Pretty good. 2,800 yards, 28 touchdowns against only 4 interceptions. And he might not be the most fleet of foot, 54 yards, 32 carries, but he did score a couple of touchdowns. Gage, you had 10 Division I scholarship opportunities. Why USC? It couldn't have been just because you wanted to keep the season tickets in the family's name. Why USC?
Yeah. I grew up a major diehard USC fan. My mom went there for college. My grandfather went there for college. And my dad went to a small private school, so they didn't really have a big football team, and he's a Southern California guy. So I grew up a massive USC fan. Watched every game from basically the minute I can remember having consciousness. Every Saturday was filled with watching USC in the morning. So just grew up loving it. I was raised in Dallas, Texas, so I was surrounded by a bunch of Longhorn and Aggie fans, but there wasn't that many USC fans. So yeah, I had to be an outstander. But yeah, so just grew up loving them. Went to whenever they played at AT&T against Alabama. I went to the game there. Just traveled. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
That was a brutal game, but yeah, no, it was cool. And then I'd come to campus. I came to a couple games growing up, and always loved the Trojans. Yeah, and also.
No, go ahead.
What was that?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, also another reason. I really wanted to get into a really high academic school. That was one of my number one goals out of college. And not to knock on any of the schools that offered me a scholarship, but USC definitely was the highest academic school that gave me a chance to come play football there. And with that, with my love of the school, filled with my love of the football team, filled with just, I felt like I'd fit in really well here. It was kind of a no-brainer.
Sounds like you made the right choice in your mind. So that's all that matters. As it turns out, so your high school coach, he was also a walk-on quarterback, but he played at that other school called Notre Dame. And I found out that he sent an article to you. And a lot of people might not know this. But his coach at Notre Dame was Lou Holtz, who also was a walk-on. And Lou Holtz loves walk-on guys, guys without the scholarship. And he said something about this, and I wanted to get this quote out there, and then I want you to reflect on it. How often do you come back to these words? And this is what Lou Holtz had to say about walk-ons. The best thing I can say about them is this: when our football team comes back 15 years from now to celebrate, they're going to have a great respect, not for what they did on the field during a game, but because of the toughness, dedication, and persistence they showed. I have never seen a walk-on that has stayed in the program for 4 years that was not successful in life. I cannot think of one. If I was hiring, I would hire a walk-on who didn't play, but stayed in a big program for 4 years. It's very demanding. There's something about these people that you just can't buy. So, Gage, how often do you reflect back to those words of wisdom, use them in your everyday life, knowing, like you said, you could have played at a Division I, played Division I college football with 10 other scholarships playing out there?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with him. There's kind of a lot of work just for everyone on the team. There's a bunch of work that goes in. And there is times, I'm going to be completely honest, when you're not getting as much praise or you're not getting as much recognition as your peers. You kind of just have to put your head down and just think of the things that you should be grateful for. I'm at such a wonderful school. I'm playing the sport I love with the people I love at the place I love. And every second it gets harder. I'm like, oh gosh, did I make the right decision on the practice field? Sometimes watching more than I'd want. Then I kind of just go back to my roots and think of the reason why I came here. And every time I get to run out of the tunnel, I always take a moment to reflect and just be thankful for what I have. And it's easy to get caught up if you play that game. I mean, in any level, there's always a higher spot you could be in. So I just try to be grateful for what I have and the great opportunity that I had to be here.
I think that's probably a perfect segue into the practice time and what you put into it. I was watching an interview that Miller Moss just did recently. He talked about his approach to practice when he was the backup and how he had to treat every rep. Kind of was like it was a game situation, preparing him for that moment when it finally came. So what goes into your routine? Walk us through a day and, in Gage's shoes. First of all, how many calories a day do you eat for breakfast? And I know the answer here, so let's be real candid about this. And because I know you can put it away with the best of them. So what goes into your day? Starting with, wake up, eating with the team. I know you guys have to get bigger, so go for it.
Yeah, so if we have a morning lift, I'm in the 6 o'clock lift group right now. So 6 to 8 a.m., hour run, hour lift. And then I'll head right over to Little Galen after, which is where we eat.
Right.
And you go, and the second I get in there, I go straight to the omelet line. And it's been done a lot of trial and error. I love eggs. It's my favorite food. I try to eat about 10 eggs a day. But the omelet pan that they're cooking in can't fit 10 eggs. So I do 2 orders I do 5 and 5. And then I get
that guy in the all you can eat buffet that just you scare the restaurant when you walk in, right?
Yeah. But I've became friends with the chef there that cooks the omelets. So he kind of knows my deal going in every morning. So he knows to look out for me, my guy Wayne. And so I'll do that. I'll go get a big plate of rice, and then I kind of put it all on top. And that's my breakfast. And then if we have a practice, we'll usually have a position meeting before, and especially during the season. So the past 2 years I've been doing scout team. So I'll go to the quarterback meeting for roughly the first 30, 45 minutes. And then we'll get a text from the scout team. So the scout team actually meets separately. So we'll go down into a separate meeting room, and it's with the GAs and the analysts. And we kind of go over what plays we're installing for the practice. We'll watch film from the practice prior. show highlights, lowlights, and what we need to get better on. And they're actually a lot of the stuff we do the past 2 years, we've had to memorize plays and tempo plays for scout team, just like we're running a regular offense. Like we watch say we're playing Notre Dame, we're watching Notre Dame's tape, and we try to mimic them as much as possible. So we'll go, that meeting will be anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. Then I'll go get taped, get ready for practice. Then when I head out to practice, then it's Tuesdays and Wednesdays are scrimmage time versus the defense, which are my favorite days of the week. Those are my game days.
Right.
So strap the chin strap pretty tight and go rip it.
That's awesome. So does it ever feel like there's kind of like too much information overload? I mean, you're learning your own playbook. You're learning the other team's playbook, so to speak. At a certain point, you're just like, wait, did I get the play call right? Are you making sure you're getting the terminology? How much of that comes into effect? Because you're learning, you have to take in so much at one time.
Yeah, it's actually funny you say that. Me and the quarterbacks have some jokes for the past couple of years. So the scout team, we usually do a different cadence than the cadence we do just for our regular offense.
Okay.
And sometimes when I hop back over in the drills, when we're just doing like quarterback individual, I'll do the scout team cadence. And then like Miller or Caleb, they're like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like my brain is just so wired and locked into my role on the team the past 2 years. And so I'll say a completely something they've never heard since high school, maybe. But yeah, it is a big commitment. It takes a little bit of extra time because obviously you want to master USC's office, which is most important, I'd say.
Sure.
And just in case, whenever your number gets called, you're ready to go in there and operate and perform to your best ability. But at the same time, your job during the season is to give the defense best look and perform as well as you can against them. So it does take mastering the scout team offense as well.
So you thought the best thing to do was, you know what? I've got all this on my plate already. I've got my classes. I'm going to go ahead and apply for an internship. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So this school year, I've just been kind of researching options, what I want to do maybe after college. And I kind of stumbled upon investment real estate for this summer. And I reached out to a couple of companies, heard back from a couple, and I was lucky enough to get a job offer internship at Marcus and Millichap in El Segundo.
Nice.
So I'm working 40-hour weeks right now on top of, so my schedule is pretty crazy right now. I'll go to lift in the mornings from 6 to 8. So I'll wake up 5:15, head over to the facility. So I'll work out. I'll run up to Little Galen, eat, or sometimes I just get the food to go, hop in my car, drive to El Segundo, and I'll do my job from anywhere to 9 to 5 if we have like a PRP, a player run practice,
right,
or we get a couple of days a week where we can do walkthroughs with the coaches in the summer. Those are at like 4 p.m. I'll leave my job an hour early on Mondays and Wednesdays, head back and do just practice with the coaches and the players and everything. So it's a pretty hectic schedule right now, but I like it so far.
I'm sweating just keeping up with you right now, bro. That's crazy. All right, yeah. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Gage and his view of the team in the next segment. Hang on tight. We'll be right back. Passion, drive, and patience. What brings home the winning trophy is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. From superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, It's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. All right, we're back here with Gage Roy, quarterback, USC. All right, so you talked about it a little bit in the previous segment. When you play scout team quarterback, did you have a moment where you had a really cool memory? You talk about, sometimes where you might use the wrong cadence, but you have like a memory where you had like a perfect pass where you just threw it over cornerback one's head, right by his ear hole. And you said, you know what? I could be the starter on this team.
Yeah, no, there's definitely been a couple of really memorable days out there on the South Side field. That's what we call it. The Destroyers. That's what we give the scout team name. So my freshman year, I was really lucky to have a really, really elite scout team receiving core.
Okay.
Austin O'Verne, who just plays baseball now. He's obviously athletic 3. Gary Bryant was redshirting that year, so he was on scout team. And a couple of other guys that had some real skill out there. And there were days where we definitely hand it to the defense. They'd be running sprints after every touchdown we'd get. They'd have to run sprints. And so there's definitely some pretty memorable days. That was always our goal, to make them run as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, those two guys on the outside, Gary Bryant and Austin O'Verne, like I could just let it fly as far as I could. They usually run under it. So
Austin O'Verne is just a triple machine. I kind of wonder what would have happened if he tried to play football with baseball.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of my good buddies. He actually lives in the apartment complex, same as us. Okay. And he could have, from what I know from him, he could have done it. I mean, he's one of the best athletes I've ever met in my entire life. Absolutely.
Now, you have a unique perspective. You're seeing everything. Who are the players that are kind of turning heads so far? We'll start with on the offensive side of the ball, and then we can switch over to the other side. Specifically like offensive line. Who's made the biggest improvement in your mind? And who's impressed you the most that's not named Jonah Monheim?
Yeah. This offseason, I think Elijah Page, one of my good buddies, I think he's made a tremendous jump just from last year. He was kind of in the two left tackle spot, and then he got his chance to play in the Holiday Bowl game, and he did exceptionally well. In this offseason, he's just made great gains as well. He's in my 6 a.m. lift group, so I've got a chance to see him. Sometimes you forget how young he is because he's so big.
Crazy.
But his work ethic has been great. You're really starting to see him master the offense, which is great to see from a young lineman, and being more vocal on and off the field and workouts, just being a leader, which is really impressive from a young guy.
Do you have a favorite wide receiver target?
Right now, it's kind of hard to go wrong with who we got right now.
Right.
With Zach. Zach's obviously really fun to throw to. Jacoby Lane, you kind of put it anywhere in his vicinity, he's probably going to come down with it, which is pretty quarterback friendly. And then Mackay, Deuce, Kyron, they're all kind of safety blankets. Our receiving core is really young, but I think it's going to turn a lot of heads this year.
I think so too. I mean, I know you guys probably don't pay a lot of attention to the outside noise, but there's always these way too early predictions and position group ratings. And there was one entity out there that said USC doesn't even have a top 10 wide receiver group in the country, and they had Colorado above you guys. Exactly. That was my reaction. That exact face you just made. So we're on the same page. So have you seen a change in head coach Lincoln Riley, how he's been preparing the offense post Caleb Williams? And has Coach Luke Heward, has he assumed a bigger role, since technically, Coach Riley isn't the quarterback coach anymore?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think for sure there's definitely been a change. just I think one of the things Coach Riley does really well is just kind of adapt to what quarterback he has at the helm. Obviously, with Caleb, he does a bunch of things really well and has some crazy aspects to his game. And I think Coach Riley did an awesome job of molding his offensive game plan around him. And Miller right now, he does a lot of things really, really well. And they might be different than Caleb, but just from more in the pocket. Not to say Miller can't run, but I think Coach Riley does a good job just kind of molding to whoever he has in the game at that moment.
You're raising a really interesting point, and one of our readers over on wearesc.com, they raised the question. It said, ask Gage this question: what fits Lincoln Riley's offense better, a Miller Moss, Gage Roy type of quarterback, or somebody who likes to color outside the lines a little bit more, like a Caleb Williams?
Yeah, it's really hard to say because I think there's been examples of both.
Okay.
Obviously, Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts both have that leg aspect to them.
Right.
And I think that fits in a little bit more to Caleb's category, whereas Miller in my game kind of fits into more of like a Baker Mayfield type of game where you're kind of delivering from the pocket, but also extending plays. So I don't know. It's really tough to say. Obviously, he's had success with both.
Right.
I don't know. It kind of depends with the team you have around you as well. With our receivers we have this year, I think Miller's going to do a great job just distributing the ball to them and letting the playmakers go play.
As well as the running back core. I mean, the young talented group, and you brought in Woody Marks, who can catch it out of the backfield too. All right, 2 more questions in this segment. Special teams holder. Guys, the guys who hold the ball, point after attempts, field goals. Why not you? Or, why not any of the walk-on, quarterbacks? If this isn't the best way to get, kind of get everyone involved, I'm not sure what is.
Mm-hmm.
Have you said, what, Coach, I want that job? What goes into that?
Yeah. Well, I actually, it's funny you say, I actually kind of assumed that role for spring ball or one of the, I'm one of the holders for Dennis Lynch.
Cool.
So in the spring game, I did it. And that's something I've really taken pride in for my first 2 years here. Obviously, Will Rose was the holder last year. He was a punter, walk on, backup punter and walk on. And he did it for 2 years. So I kind of was just every day in practice. I wasn't getting the reps with the whole unit, but every day when the offense and defense were warming up, I'd go on the side, get a long snapper, and was holding. So I did that for 2 years in preparation for this upcoming year. And that was one of the things in my meetings with Coach Riley that I really, really wanted to highlight and focus on, that I wanted that job and I wanted that position. So thankfully this spring I was lucky enough to get a bunch of reps at it. We started off the spring game with Dennis.
Right.
So yeah, we still got to fight for that position. There's a couple other kickers that have their select holders. But so yeah.
Does it really come down to the kicker's choice? Kind of like they pick their caddy? Is that how it works?
Yeah. It's right now I'm the only lefty holder for Dennis. That's kind of what I've specialized in the past 2 years.
Okay.
Not to say other people can't do it. But right. Yeah. Other people have their specific, holder at this moment right now on our team. So it's kind of obviously long snapper, holder, kicker. It's a whole operation. So the job's kind of up for the taking this fall. So we'll see what happens.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. Last question for this segment. Have you ever thought about going into coaching, or are you just planning to be a real estate tycoon when you're done?
Yeah, no, I've definitely thought about it. Just being in Coach Riley's room for what's going to be 4 years is pretty special.
Right.
And I love football. I feel like if I chose to do that profession, I wouldn't be working a day in my life. Not to say the coaches do have a pretty time heavy schedule, but it is something I am definitely interested in. I'm just gonna see how everything shakes out these next couple of years. I want to have a couple backup plans, but I wouldn't be shocked if I did choose to pursue that career.
You know, someone who I coached high school basketball for a short period of my life. It was the absolute most rewarding experience of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't say anything, but
Yeah.
I learned and I gained so much from that they're just memories forever. So yeah, if you do it, I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, in high school, my junior and senior year, I coached like 7th grade, 7-on-7 teams for 2 years. It was awesome.
Yeah,
some of my best memories.
All right. Well, let's do one more thing here, and then we're going to come back for some rapid fire questions. And I'm gonna let you have 5 minutes to yourself so you can do whatever you need to do for the rest of your night. I love sports. I love them so much. I never want them to stop. I never want them to stop. In fact, imagine USC football or USC basketball 24/7, 365. Gage can do it. He does everything in a day. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games. The sports aren't sporting like we want them to. FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open up the app, dream up any bets, and I'm ready to go. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all their customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head on over to FanDuel.com/LockedOn and start making the most out of the summer. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. All right. We're going to do some rapid fire questions here. Just some fun stuff. Kind of stuff you watch your teammates do up there on the big screen during the timeouts during the game. So, Gage Roy's turn. All right. Kobe, LeBron, or MJ?
Kobe.
Good choice. Cowboys or Texans?
Cowboys, 100%. Major Cowboys fan.
You get to pick season seats for one of these teams. Spurs, Mavericks, or Dallas Stars?
Dallas Stars. No question.
Rangers or Astros?
Rangers.
Yeah, we don't like cheaters over here either. That's good. If you're into this, hero or anti-hero?
Anti-hero.
All right, so Wolverine or Deadpool?
Deadpool.
Good choice. Hot or cold? And I'm talking about showers.
Cold.
Really?
Yeah, wakes me up in the morning.
Hard or soft? And I'm talking about tacos.
Soft.
Okay. Favorite place to eat?
Chipotle. I have it. There's one like less than a mile away that I go to like 4 or 5 times a week.
Do you have your regular that you order from Chipotle?
Yes. Yeah. Double chicken, double rice, double beans, corn, and cheese.
Real quick, how many calories do you put away per day? Or how many do they want you to put away, and do you go above and beyond?
Yeah, I like having 3 big meals. Sometimes I'll do 4. Trying to get around 4,000 to 4,500 calories just because I'm burning so many. And trying to gain muscle and put on weight.
By the way, folks who haven't seen Gage up close, dude's not fat. He is well put together. So he's doing something right. All right. I know you're from Texas, so this one, watch carefully. In-N-Out or Whataburger?
I think I got to go In-N-Out. I've been corrupted living here for 2 years.
If someone's pointing a gun at you right now off camera?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
All right. Beating Notre Dame or beating UCLA? Which one means more to you?
I think UCLA does, just with the crosstown rivalry. It does mean more.
Night games or day games?
Night games.
Last question. Mama's boy or are you a dad's dude?
Probably a mama's boy, but do love my dad.
Awesome. All right, there it is. That's Gage Roy. That's your backup quarterback for the USC Trojans. Gage, I want to thank you so much for doing this. You pointed out very clearly you have no time in your day for anything extracurricular other than doing what Gage needs to do to be successful in life. So I really want to say thank you for coming on the show. I've already gotten some feedback. You got, like I mentioned at the top, the walk-ons, you guys don't get enough appreciation, a lot of respect. I'm making a series out of this. So tell all of your roommates, tell all of your friends, all of your teammates, I'm coming after them next. Because look, you guys put in the same amount of hours, the same work that everybody else does. And I think that deserves some recognition. So, and a big, fight on from everybody.
Yeah.
So again, thank you so much, Gage, for doing this. And I look forward to seeing you when practice starts. It's not too far away.
Yeah. Really. Yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. Thanks again. All right. That's it for this episode of Locked On USC. I'll be back with another 5 episodes next week. That's what we do. So until then, everyone, you know what to do.